The audience inside the brightly lit television studio clapped loudly as the cameras rolled across the stage. The atmosphere was cheerful, colorful, and energetic. Exactly the kind of mood viewers expected from Kelly Clarkson's afternoon talk show. Kelly walked onto the stage with her signature smile, waving at the crowd while music played in the background. Moments later, the announcer introduced the special guest of the day. "Please welcome the legendary Shania Twain." The audience erupted. Shania stepped onto the stage wearing a cream-colored designer jacket, dark jeans, and sparkling silver boots. She smiled warmly, hugging Kelly before taking her seat. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. The two exchanged compliments, laughed about touring memories, and joked about life in the music industry. Kelly leaned forward with curiosity. "You've inspired so many women for decades," she said. "But I heard your latest tour almost didn't happen. Because of some backstage drama?" Shania laughed softly at first. "Well, every tour has challenges." The audience chuckled along, expecting another lighthearted celebrity story, but Kelly continued pressing the topic. "I heard there were disagreements with your management team, and maybe even some tension with other artists." Shania's smile faded slightly. "Well, I try not to focus on rumors," she replied carefully. Kelly nodded, though her producers in the control room signaled for her to keep digging deeper. The ratings for dramatic celebrity moments had been climbing recently, and the team wanted something memorable. "So, is it true someone close to your team betrayed you financially?" Kelly asked. A strange silence spread across the studio. Shania adjusted herself in her chair, clearly uncomfortable now. "I don't really want to discuss personal business matters," she answered politely. The audience shifted awkwardly. Kelly attempted to laugh it off. "Oh, come on, everybody's talking about it online." Shania looked toward the audience for a moment before replying, "And that's exactly why I don't want to add more fuel to it." For a few seconds, the atmosphere became tense. Backstage, producers whispered frantically through Kelly's earpiece, encouraging her to keep the conversation dramatic. The cameras zoomed closer. Kelly tried another angle. "You've had such a difficult journey. Heartbreak, betrayal, illness. Do you think fame changes people around you?" This time, Shania's expression completely changed. She crossed her legs slowly and looked directly at Kelly. "I came here to talk about music, inspiration, and my fans," she said calmly. "Not painful chapters of my private life." The audience suddenly became very quiet. Kelly seemed surprised by the firmness in Shania's voice. "I understand," Kelly replied quickly. "I just thought viewers would connect with your honesty." Shania gave a small nod, but the warmth from earlier was gone. The interview continued, though the energy had shifted completely. Kelly asked about songwriting and future projects, but Shania's answers became shorter and more reserved. Then things became worse. One of the large screens behind the stage unexpectedly displayed an old tabloid headline related to Shania's painful divorce. Years earlier, it had been prepared by a producer hoping to create an emotional television moment. The second the image appeared, the audience gasped. Kelly turned around in shock. "Oh no!" Shania stared at the screen silently. The entire studio froze. For several long seconds, nobody moved. Producers backstage panicked, waving for the graphic to disappear immediately. But the damage had already been done. Shania slowly stood up. Her microphone picked up a quiet sigh. "I think this interview is over," she said calmly. Kelly stood up instantly. "Shania, wait. I didn't know they were going to show that." But Shania looked deeply hurt. There's a difference between having a conversation and turning someone's pain into entertainment. The audience remained silent as cameras awkwardly moved away. Kelly looked genuinely upset now. "I'm really sorry," she said softly. Shania picked up her jacket from the chair. "For years, I fought very hard to rebuild my life privately," she continued. "Some things shouldn't be reopened just because cameras are rolling." A few audience members began clapping supportively. Kelly walked closer, clearly trying to fix the situation. "That was never my intention." Shania nodded politely. "I believe you, but someone behind the scenes wanted a viral moment more than a respectful conversation." The words hit hard across the studio. Even some crew members lowered their eyes uncomfortably. Without raising her voice or creating a dramatic scene, Shania calmly removed her microphone pack and handed it to a staff member. Then she turned toward the audience one last time. "To everyone who supported my music through the years, thank you." That's what truly matters to me." The crowd immediately stood and applauded loudly. Some fans even shouted words of encouragement as she walked toward the backstage exit. Kelly remained standing in the center of the stage, visibly emotional and embarrassed. The cheerful energy that had filled the studio earlier was completely gone. For several seconds, the cameras didn't know where to focus. Finally, Kelly looked toward the audience and spoke honestly. "Sometimes television forgets that real people carry real pain." Nobody clapped this time. Backstage producers scrambled while the show cut abruptly to commercial break. Within minutes, social media exploded with clips from the tense exchange. Some viewers defended Kelly, believing she had simply followed producer instructions. Others strongly supported Shania, praising her for walking away with dignity instead of allowing deeply personal wounds to become public spectacle. By evening, the moment had become one of the most talked about celebrity interviews of the year. But for many viewers, the most unforgettable part wasn't the argument. It was the calm, heartbreaking silence in Shania Twain's eyes just before she chose to walk away.